Hey, good evening. I hope my voice is audible. Let me know if my voice is audible and I'm visible. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, guys. Good evening. Thank you. Let's wait for one more minute to start the session. So, today's topic is on telemedicine and telehealth, how it is being used in terms of clinical trials and clinical research. So that's today's topic, which I'll be speaking about the YouTube live. So this will be a YouTube live session wherein I'll be speaking about telehealth and telemedicine and how it is being implemented in terms of clinical research, how it can be used for particularly clinical research. So I think we are sharp at 6 o'clock now. We'll give one more minute. Exactly after this, we'll be able to start the session. Okay, so I think we are good to start. So I hope my voice is audible. Everyone, can anyone confirm? Is my voice audible? Yeah, thank you. So first of all, let's understand today's topic. What is today's topic and how this topic is being implemented in terms of clinical research, how this topic came into existence and how these words are being used. So first, I'll be speaking about what is telemedicine and what is telehealth. And the third thing I'll be speaking how it is being used. What are the advantage or what are the places it is being used in terms of clinical research? And the fourth one I'll be speaking what are the advantage of using telemedicine and telehealth in terms of clinical research or in terms of patients or in terms of doctors or in terms of manufacturers. And the next thing I'll be speaking what are the disadvantage or limitations we have to use the telemedicine or telehealth in terms of giving treatments to the patients or enrolling and recruiting and making sure the patient engagement is there in terms of patients. That is also I'm going to touch base upon it. And last topic which I'll be speaking is future of your telemedicine and telehealth, how it is going to change the treatment which is being given to the patients, how it can be changed, particularly when it is being remotely in tribal villages and other places, how we can utilize telemedicine and tele communication for the benefit of the patient as well as the doctors, how open consulting system can be done with the freeness of the time for the patient and as well as doctor. So doctor might come up and say that, okay, I'm available in this slot. Patient might come and say that I'm available in this slot. How can we club these two people, making sure that we can give the best treatment, best possible treatment without wasting time, money, efforts, and also the way it is being dealt in providing the treatment to the patients. So first of all, let's speak about what is telemedicine and telehealth. So now I think before COVID, if you would have spoken about a word which is called as telemedicine, everyone would have laughed at us and saying that no, it is not possible. So, but I think after COVID, everyone have understood that telemedicine and telehealth can be used in terms of providing the treatment to the patients remotely. So the most important advantage for telemedicine is you can give treatments, you can give prescriptions, you can give the pharmacy, you can give the reports, you can take the data remotely without having the patient traveling, without having wasting the time of a patient to come to the doctor and wait for a doctor to give a appointment. So now this is the beauty of a telemedicine and telehealth that remotely a patient can get into a consulting to the doctor. So now if you see how telemedicine came into existence is electronic media or by using the telecommunication, how patient can utilize telecommunication, how the doctors can utilize the telecommunication, and how pharmacy and lab technicians and all those people who are surrounding, who are also called as healthcare professional, can utilize the way it can be given the best patient centricity treatment to the patient is something which we are going to discuss today. So now let's open up for first how telemedicine and telehealth can be utilized. Now, if a patient comes back to you, so first of all, patient have to book an appointment, doctor appointment. And generally, earlier we used to take a phone and we used to call a doctor and say that, okay, can you tell that what time doctor is available and I can book a slot. But nowadays, it's telemedicine and telehealth where apps are being used, chatbots are being used, voice calls are being used to book an appointment. Where doctor is available and that slot is available, patient can take that slot. Perfect. And once the appointment is fixed, doctor will switch on the video camera and patient is switch on the video camera of the phone, and then start patient giving the complaints or patient giving the disease details and all these things. And then doctor start writing the prescription to the patient, that what happened to the patient, what are the complaints of the patient, and also what are the possible treatments and diagnoses which patient has to undergo. If doctor thinks that patient has to undergo XYZ lab reports, then immediately in that particular app only, he will put that, okay, patient has this complaints and patient has to undergo this lab reports. And then this lab reports are directly going to the local lab, which is associated to a patient, very nearer to the patient, wherein patient directly sits in home and the lab technician comes and collects the blood and gives the images. ECG can be collected at the patient home, and also images can be collected at the patient home, and lab samples can be collected. Once the lab technician collects the data, he uploads it in the app where patient can see the data, what happened to the patient, and also doctor also can see and review the data, what patient has undergone and what the reports are indicating about the diagnosis of the disease. After the lab reports, the doctor understands the diagnosis and he starts giving the treatment, a pharmacy prescription. And this pharmacy prescription is being sent to the patient or near to the patient where patient is living. And that particular pharmacy person takes the medicines, pack the medicines with the prescription which is available in the app. And then that pharmacy medications goes to the home. Patient gets the home delivery of the pharmacy medications and then he pays the payment. Once the story is ended, then patient has to go for follow-ups of the treatments. And patient might not remember the follow-ups of the patient, how many times patient has to go, how many times patient have to take the medications and all. App has all the details that when the patient have to take, how the patient have to take, any adverse event if he gets, what he has to do. All the details is being put into a telehealth app wherein it gives information as a alarms, it gives a follow-ups, it gives a, all things to the patients, that how patient can take the treatment and what is the next level of a treatment, what is the patient complaints of the drug, and what is an outcome of the patient, and also it records all the data of the patient in images format. So now from the start of taking an appointment till the patient gets treatment and also patient get benefit, everything is being done electronically. And we are using three words. One is decentralization, wherein patient does not need to travel. One is digitalization, wherein zero paper can be used. A patient does not need to write any paper and say that, okay, I have this XYZ problem. And also decarbonization, where we are saving the environment by not wasting the papers and by not wasting the travel time and by not wasting the excessive efforts. So now this is what we call it as telemedicine. So the use of telecommunication either for doctor appointment, consulting, and giving prescriptions, giving the lab reports, taking the images, collecting the data, and following up with the patient compliance, and also giving the medications, and also making the payments. Everything in one app. That is what you call it as the telemedicine and telehealth or telepharmacy apps, or the use of telepharmacy and telehealth apps. So the telehealth is mainly focused on all the healthcare providers. We cannot say that it's only the pharmacy or it's only the doctors or it's only the nurses who are going to use the telepharmacy. It's all the people who are going to use the tele medicine or telehealth apps. So there are so many apps which came into picture, which some apps gives the sharing or the archiving of EHR and EMR data, where the electronic health records or electronic medical records can be stored. Some of the apps are there where they upload the prescriptions and the prescriptions are being read by the pharmacy people and can be dispensed the drug medications to the patient homes. So there are so many apps altogether. These apps are using the telecommunication internet flexibility to make sure that we can treat the patient remotely. There is no need of a patient to travel to the doctor or a hospital to take a treatment and waste the time and also waste the money and efforts. So this is what is the beauty of your telemedicine or telehealth or telepharmacy. So now what exactly can be utilized or how this can be advantage for your telemedicine and telehealth. So telemedicine and telehealth or telepharmacy is virtual reality. It's not that a live person will be there beside sitting physically. It might be a virtual reality, a virtual person is there, virtual patient is sitting very far, which can be utilized. It's a simple example that you do a online shopping. So, but there are problems with respect to giving treatment to the patients, because the patient can be most dangerous, that he can be at an emergency situation and he cannot wait for getting the treatment remotely. So you cannot say that, okay doctor, I'll wait for your time. So there might be some serious injuries, serious emergency conditions where patient have to have immediate attention of the patient or doctor. So how can we utilize this? Is there are some disadvantage and there are some advantage. So now I'll be speaking about how telemedicine, telehealth, and telepharmacy can be utilized in terms of clinical research. So how clinical research can utilize this all technology for making sure that the time which is bringing to the new molecules to market can be reduced. The first one, you can recruit more number of patients. You don't need a patient to travel to your hospital to get enrolled into the trial. So that's the first thing which you can say, that you can get the patient remotely any point in time. He can get enrolled. He can open an app and saying that, okay, I have this particular disease, I have particular inclusion criteria, I have particular exclusion criteria. Can you take me into the trial? And they'll be able to take into the trial. That is what you call it as virtual recruitment of the patients. And the next one, a remote patient monitoring. So it does not need that patient has to come every visit, spending the time, money, efforts to take a medication, to take an appointment. Virtually, remotely, we can monitor the outcome of the patient, we can collect the data of the patient, and we can conduct the clinical trial as it is. The third one, remote collection of informed consent form, or we can say that electronic informed consent form. When you say informed consent form, earlier days, a patient used to come and sit it in room and say that, okay, I'm ready to participate in trials. Tell me what are the risks, what are the benefits, and everything. Then he used to sign, and one copy is being given to patient, one copy with the doctor. But now nothing is been happening as this. So it will be a remote version of informed consent, electronic version of informed consent, where patient is sitting remotely at very far location. Doctor switch on the cameras, and then doctors start explaining about the informed consent process, and electronically it can be signed from the doctor and also investigator or a patient. And one copy is being given, electronic copy is being given for the patient as well as doctor. The dropouts reasons might be very much less, because patient does not need to spend time, efforts, and money to participate into clinical trials. The dropout reasons have drastically reduced if you use telemedicine, telehealth, and telepharmacy, and make the patient not to travel more, make the patient not to take efforts to travel. Then I think you are one of the best person to conduct more of clinical trials, and dropouts of the patients to get dropped off of the trial. Patients are happy to stay into trial, and patient will continue into your particular trial. That's a fourth advantage. And the fifth advantage, reduce the burden of the site and as well as the sponsor. So if there is a hospital, every time patients is coming and attending the clinical research sites, and the pressure on the hospital is increasing, specifically countries like India, pressure on the hospitals has been increased. Now, in terms of that, if you conduct by using telemedicine or telehealth or the telecommunications, then the patient does not need to travel, and the pressure on the site have reduced. The patient pressure on the site, the patient visit on the site has reduced, and you can conduct more amount of clinical trial. So now coming back to what are the benefits. So I spoke about what is telemedicine, telehealth, and telepharmacy, how it can be utilized by the patient and doctor, and also how it can benefit. So now I have spoken about what are the advantage, or what are the places how telemedicine and telehealth can be implemented in terms of clinical research. What are the places clinical research can be utilized? Either virtual recruitment, remote monitoring, taking the consent, withdrawal of the subjects, and also decreasing the pressure on the site as well as at the hospital or the doctors. Now, what are the benefits? What are the advantage of the doing the clinical trials by using telemedicine, telehealth, and telepharmacy apps? Is first is travel less. You have very less travel, or you have zero travel. And the second one, the money which is being spent is very less. And also the open slot system between the doctor and patients, open slot system, where whichever time you are available, you both understand, come. And the fourth one, patient engagement. The patient engagement has increased drastically. That patient is very happy to communicate with the doctor at a remote location, and he can participate into clinical trial. And also we can share the medical records, we can share the electronic health records, and also we can plan the real world studies, because everything is electronic data. All the data is being captured at one central location, and if we understand all those real world data, we can say that what is the future big problem which is India going to occur. So the biggest problem with us is we are not collecting huge amount of real world data, so that we can analyze and process the data and inform that okay, the future the problem is X Y Z. We're not able to tell that. So real world data. So now, in a nutshell, what are the advantage of conducting the clinical trials or clinical research by using telemedicine, telehealth apps? Is first one is time has reduced and money has reduced, the efforts have reduced, and the telehealth apps can give you more of the exchange of records, medical records, and real world health data can improve the benefits. Now, all things are good. Now, what are the disadvantage of the telehealth and telemedicine or the telepharmacy apps? So first one, it requires digital literacy, it requires the electronic literacy, it requires the system based knowledge, it requires the internet, it requires a high speed internet wherein doctor can tell and patient can understand, it requires the language barriers, and also it requires the biggest problem is the patient data privacy. How it can be shared with others we don't know, because electronically there might be so much of clauses that how are we going to utilize this opportunity. So now the patient data and privacy is biggest problem, digital literacy is biggest problem, life saving medications cannot be given, life saving treatments cannot be given by using your telemedicine or telehealth app, and the travel time has reduced, but digital literacy is required, and also the high speed internet is required, and life saving diseases cannot be used with this particular treatments, and also patient privacy and data confidentiality is the biggest problem when you are using the treatment such as the telehealth and telemedicine. So now, what is the future of the telemedicine and the future of telehealth? So you can book appointments anytime. You can take the doctor consultation anytime, anywhere, any place, and you can collect the prescription. You can have your electronic records of images, scans, X-rays, lab reports, pharmacy records, everything. What allergies you have, everything. One app where patient can utilize, one app where doctor can utilize. That's the future of your the telemedicine and telehealth app. And local healthcare providers can utilize these apps to understand the real world data and to give more preferences that what treatments are working, what treatments are not working, what might be the future of your particular treatments. And also application of adapting software technologies is more important for all the doctors, pharmacists, nursings, and everyone. And the regulations have been more stringent, the regulations are being putting more pressure how to implement the telemedicine and telehealth apps or also telepharmacy apps so that it can be utilized in a proper manner. So now use of telecommunication for the benefit of the patient and also healthcare professional, where apps can be utilized, where calls can be utilized, where messages can be utilized, where chatbots can be utilized, and remote monitoring can be utilized, is your telemedicine and telehealth. So now today I have spoken about what is telemedicine, what is telehealth, and how it can be utilized in clinical trials. What are the advantage, what are the limitations, and what is the future of your telemedicine and telehealth. So now, if you are a pharmacist, if you belong to pharmacist, and if you wanted to stay in, updated in pharmacy, let's learn about telemedicine, telehealth, and also telepharmacy, wherein it can benefit the patient and also the doctor. So now, quickly, I'll complete my topic now. If any questions are there, you can ask me. I'll be able to answer any kind of questions which are being asked for telemedicine and telehealth. Next week, July 18th, we have a webinar which is being scheduled by SCDM. Please do reach out to Clinosol team to join the live webinar which is being conducted by SCDM. Tomorrow, I'll be taking a LinkedIn live. Please do join us LinkedIn live tomorrow at 6 p.m. I'll be taking about patient engagement technologies and tools. How can you engage a patient? How can you get the patient confidence to provide the treatment or to provide the dispensing or to provide the drug compliance or to provide the counseling of the patient. So I'll be speaking about tomorrow about the applications and also technologies which are being used for the patient engagement. So I'm open for questions. Any quick questions, any feedbacks, anyone have any new topics you wanted to listen? Please let me know. Every weekend, I'll try to have one live session for YouTube on Friday and one on Saturday, which is LinkedIn Live. So any questions, I'm open for any kind of question. This YouTube Live is not for certificates. This is just for knowledge sharing. But if anyone wants a certificate, you can reach out to our team. Our team will make sure they are guiding you necessarily. So, any questions anyone have? How can we maintain privacy and ADR monitoring? See, privacy and ADR monitoring is very difficult as of now, but there are very stringent regulations where government of India and the other governments are being taking care. Even Google or Facebook or other people are being questioned for the privacy of the data which they are collecting. Where we are chatting or where we are searching or where we are doing all this privacy is being taken care. Now that is where we are trying to tell that okay, privacy can be utilized and privacy has to be there for every system which is being utilized, and privacy and confidentiality is so much important when it comes to patient related information, because patient related information is very confidential and you cannot share any information of the patient outside of your particular zone. Even family members, you cannot tell that what patient is suffering with particular disease and what patient is going to do. Is AI going to take our jobs in future? Answer is no. We are not going to lose our jobs, but we are going to create new, more technical jobs. See, I have sent you one of the interesting topic which is called as telemedicine, telehealth today. If you utilize telemedicine and telehealth and telepharmacy, you can create more opportunities, more jobs, rather than just sitting and saying that our jobs will be lost. So AI will create more jobs. Perfect. Any other questions? Any other questions? I think thank you so much for two questions which have been put by the team. So thank you so much. I hope the session was useful, and we'll meet with one more session. Please join tomorrow's LinkedIn Live also, and please do enroll for webinar which is upcoming. So thank you so much. Have a nice, wonderful weekend. Thank you.